Welcome back to week 8 of the Print on Demand Challenge, where I try to take a brand new print on demand store from $0 to 7 figures in sales in under 12 months. My name is Chris Ekman, and this is the series where I show you everything under the hood, nothing held back, so you can take it and apply it directly into your own e-commerce or print on demand business, whatever it may be. And I gotta tell you, this week was pretty exciting for a number of reasons, and I think there's gonna be a lot of good takeaways and things that are relevant to your business that you can apply straight away. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. If you watched last week's episode, then you remember that we had a little bit of a tough time. So to review where we are in the challenge so far, here are our sales up until the end of last week. I'll do a little refresh for you guys so you know that it's legit, no funny business. All right, there we go. So we've done $65,705 in sales in about 7 weeks of running the store, which sounds pretty good, but obviously we need to ramp things up a lot in order to hit 7 figures in sales in under 12 months. Almost 2 months has gone by now, and we're 6.5% of the way to our overall goal. And if you watched last week's video, then you know that we struggled quite a bit. About halfway through the week, our sales took a massive dip and we're down 30 to 20% from where they were the week before. Now, in that video, I covered some of the changes that we made to our ads in order to hopefully bounce back, and our sales shot up quite a bit over the weekend. Now, weekends are typically better sales days anyway, but this was far beyond that typical weekend bump. Now, the question was, will those strong sales over the weekend follow us into the next week? Let's take a look and see how things turned out. So drum roll, please. There we go. We did $13,899.70 for a total increase of 11% over the previous week. Not too shabby. If we can keep up this kind of growth, we are smooth sailing through the rest of the year. So we started off Monday at down 13% or $1,600 in sales, which is typical. You'd normally expect to be down slightly on Mondays. And then, like I said in last week's video, Tuesdays are also down. It looks like it's up 20%, but that's really just because the previous Tuesday was so darn bad. So not too big of a win here either. But luckily, things start to pick up about halfway through the week, and we did $2,157 in sales on the 23rd, dipped down slightly to $1,725 on the 24th, but then we shot way up to our first 3K day on the 25th. We did $3,081 in sales, which is up a whopping 113% from that same time last week. It's pretty crazy. What's the best way to follow up your best day ever? Is with a 36% plummet over the previous week. Gotta love that. It always keeps you on your toes. So we were down to $1,700 in sales, and then we finished out the week at about $2,000. And honestly, this confused me a lot because we were up on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, which are typically some of our best days, we flopped. Like, just hard flopped. No real reason for it. Sales just jumped off a cliff, and it's gonna be pretty demoralizing, but let's take a look at how we did throughout the week and see if there's anything that we can find that would identify what went wrong these days. In our ads manager, looking at this week, we spent $4,653.69. Our ROAS was 2.34, and our cost per click was 46 cents. All these numbers are pretty decent, especially considering our cost per click the previous week was around 50 cents. So we're trending in the right direction with that. A lot of it comes down to the new ad that we launched, which I talked about in the last video. It's basically the same ad copy, same offer, same headline, just different picture. It was a different product, and people liked it more. Same targeting. Testing creative is absolutely key. But anyway, so we did about 14 grand in sales for the week, and so how much of that went to Printify, who's our fulfillment provider who prints, packs, and ships all of our orders of our t-shirts to our end customer. And this past week, we spent a whopping $6,058.95 with them. They're loving us at this point. And we did $219 in discounts and refunds on our Shopify store, just giving out coupons, and 1 or 2 customers asked for a refund because they didn't like how the print turned out. and we always give customers refunds no matter what the reason is. We get another $525 in transaction fees from PayPal and Shopify, which these are transaction fees that you pay basically for the ability to swipe people's credit cards on your store. And in addition to the $4,600 we spent on Facebook, we also spent an additional $36.82 on Google. Brings us to a total of $4,683 on our ad spend. And we had another $294 on our overhead expenses. This is things like our Shopify, Klaviyo, any other odds and ends like Shopify apps, which $300 is honestly pretty low in the grand scheme of things. I've had stores before where our overhead is closer to 10 grand per month. And while there can be ways to justify that, typically a lot better to keep the overhead as low as humanly possible. We made another $220 from our Capital One 2% cash back card and $212 from our Printify rebate that we get from spending so much money with them. Which brings us to a total profit for the week of $2,628 in pure profit in the bank account, which is not bad considering how much it's up from the previous week when we did $1,800 in profit. While these stats are pretty decent, the thing that I'm really concerned about right now is how our sales ended over the weekend. Typically, Saturday and Sunday are by far our strongest day, so I really want to dive in and analyze what went wrong and how I can make sure that I get things back on track for the next week. So the first thing I would look at is our conversion rate, which is down 10%. So that's something for us to come back to and analyze if there was any changes to the site. But other things for us to look at are our average order value, which that stayed relatively consistent. It's actually up about 12%, so I'm not too concerned about that. And we had a good amount of returning customers, which is a healthy amount to see, is around 10 to 25%. And the likely reason that we're seeing so many people come back and buy from us again and again, which is the whole name of the game, that's where the real money is made, is because of this little number here, that our time to fulfill is really fast. So customers are getting their orders, we're using a high quality t-shirt, and we have really good customer service where we give them refunds for any reason at all. Even if it's their fault and like they put in the wrong address, we eat that cost in order to make it a really good experience for them. Breaking down our sessions, we are predominantly United States right now, with about 2,500 sessions from the UK, 880 from Australia, some from Canada and Germany. And the vast majority of our traffic is coming from social. So this is our Facebook and Instagram ads. We have some direct, which this is our word of mouth and email marketing. While it's okay for now that we're so heavily dependent on social media ads, it's definitely a big goal of mine is to get us off of that and moved on to other platforms like TikTok, affiliate marketing, influencers, other sales channels like Etsy, Amazon, Walmart, just to supplement it and make it not single channel heavy. It's one of the big lessons that I learned from growing and selling my brands in the past was that you have a much more valuable business the more sales channels you have. Now, in the beginning, I always recommend that people learn one channel really well, whether that be Facebook ads or TikTok or Google, whatever it may be. Learn one channel really well until you get off the ground. Don't try to be the guy who or girl who launches Facebook, TikTok, Google ads all at the same time and you don't know any of them. It's a recipe for losing a lot of money and getting pretty much nowhere. Trust me, I've done it. It's much better to learn just Facebook ads really well in the beginning. And then once you get to a consistent cadence with that, a consistent point of sales coming in, then you document everything, hire somebody to do it, train them on it, and then you move on to the next sales channel. You move on to learning the TikTok ads. And that's a really good way to diversify so that you want to get as close as possible to 25 a quarter across all your sales channels or a third, so that you're not like right now we're 75% Facebook ads, which is super bad. That's not a scalable business model. So anyway, definitely something I'm going to look into in the future. But back to our current predicament, the next place that I would look, so I see that our conversion rate dropped slightly. Next place I would look is in our ads. So our ads performed pretty well on the 24th and 25th. So let's take a look at the numbers here. So we spent $1,200 or almost $1,300 at a 2.73 on these 2 days, 49-cent cost per click. A way that I like to analyze if anything has like really changed in our ads is by doing this breakdown here. So I'm going to look at it by country, and I'm going to go up from the bottom here, and now this shows me the breakdown for our entire ad account. So I can see by country where I've been spending. Now I'm doing a comparison of the 24th and 25th to the 26th and 27th. So it's going to show me these two ranges side by side, and I'll be able to analyze the numbers really easily. So we can see the cost per click between these days didn't really change. So the 24th and 25th, our ROAS between those 2 days was 2.73, and then on the 26th to 27th, our ROAS was a 2.4. So it dipped slightly, but it's still high enough that our overall ROAS should be higher than it was. But then when I go over to our Klaviyo account, I realize the difference in sales is pretty obvious. We sent out an email campaign to our list advertising new products that we put on the site. It was just a simple email. It just said pretty much, hey, come check out the new designs. And we sent those out on the 23rd and 25th. And then we just sent out a resend to anybody who hadn't opened it on the 26th. So that's the reason for the increased bump in sales. As you can see, the one email did $804. The other one did $553. So about $1,300 in sales those 2 days just from emails alone, which is pretty nice because we're not paying for that ad spend wise. So that's about 60% margin, or roughly $750 in profit just from sending a simple email. But let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like to see more on our email strategy, how we do things like sending out email campaigns, building our list, and more importantly, how we build out flows that do $1,300, $1,000, $700, $300 just in the past 7 days alone. So it's $3 or $4 grand just from these email automations that are running day and night. You just set them up once and then you pretty much forget about them. So let me know in the comment section down below if you're interested in learning more about this. I'd be happy to do an in-depth video. And be sure to like and subscribe so that I know that this is the kind of content people are interested in seeing and that you're finding it useful, so I continue doing the series. I'm here for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.